This one's working. How you folks doing tonight? We're ready to get things going here. I'm Steve Detrick. Good evening. I'm the mayor of Elk Grove. Nice to see a great turnout here tonight. And you guys have a lot of interest or a lot of questions. Hopefully you have both. I have the pleasure of doing the introduction for Congressman Lungren tonight. Over the last several years, Congressman Lungren has been a great supporter of Elk Grove. I've gotten to know him both personally and professionally, and enjoyed both sides of that equation. Congressman Dan Lungren represents California's 3rd Congressional District, which includes parts of Sacramento and Solano County, as well as Alpine, Amador, and Calaveras counties. For 10 years, Dan served as U.S. Congress, where he was viewed as a Republican leader in criminal justice and immigration issues. California voters elected Dan Attorney General of California, in a position he held for 8 years. During his 2-year term as California's Attorney General, 1991 through 1999, Dan helped author and later defended in court California's landmark, 3 Strikes and You're Outlaw. Following his time as Attorney General of California, Dan did a stint as a nationally syndicated radio talk show host and served as a fellow at Harvard University Institute of Politics before returning to private practice of law. The events of 9/11 prompted Dan's return to public service, believing that each of us had to respond in the most effective way to the terrorist threat. He sought election to Congress so that the lessons learned from his past government experience might be added to the national debate. Dan's lifetime belief that America's national defense is the #1 responsibility and priority of the federal government that was affirmed on 9/11. As mayor of Elk Grove, I'd like to thank Dan for hosting this town hall meeting so the residents have the opportunity to learn the climate of Washington, D.C. and to express their opinions and views about local and federal issues. Please help me give Congressman Lungren a warm welcome.
Thank you very much, Steve. I appreciate that. And Steve is one of the elected officials here, and you gave him some applause. Well, give him some applause, please. And the other elected official we have here is Michelle Orick with the Community Services District Board. There we go. A couple of things I'd like to mention to you. Introduce members of my staff who are here, actually members of your staff, of the 3rd Congressional District staff. Peter Tatishi is our Chief of Staff. He actually travels back and forth from here in Washington, D.C., spends, well, it's about 3 weeks here, 1 week there, but it was 2 weeks and 2 weeks. But now that his wife has given them their first child, he's spending a little more time here, and we sure appreciate it. His wife also is a veteran of the United States Army, doing 2 tours in the war zone, and retired as a captain in the United States Army. Marilyn Herbs, our district director, oversees operations in the district office. Some of you happen to watch Channel 10 tonight, and you see the story of an outstanding detective here in Elk Grove who managed to put together a case which put away a child molester. He happens to be the proud mother of that detective here in Elk Grove. Debbie Jones, our special assistant, oversees the district budget. Very important. Make sure that I don't go over budget. In fact, we ought to probably put her close to the White House to make sure they don't overspend the budget. Debbie does a great job. She's the one that has that cheery voice when you call, and often is there to set up scheduling for me in the district office. Liz Donnelly, senior field representative, not here tonight, but she works very hard with us on a number of different programs, including the Congressional Page Program. I don't know if some of you saw, they just announced they're going to eliminate the Page Program after 200 years. I think it's a bad decision, but it was a decision jointly made by the Speaker of the House and the former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, so you've got both the Democratic leadership and the Republican leadership of the House making that decision. I just have seen the great job that the Pages do and the tremendous experience that they have. It just turns out that one of the the last Page class, this is a case in history of the United States House of Representatives, was a Page from this district, and just made that just to return home after being able to enjoy that experience. We also have Bob Eldert, our senior field representative right over here. Bob conducts our district outreach into the counties of Alpine, Amador, Calaveras, and Solano. Oliver Chu is not present. He actually has a well-deserved vacation, but in the last week I have gone to different events, speaking engagements. People have come up to me personally and told me what a great job he does. He does a tremendous job in the area of citizenship and immigration services, as well as military and personnel management. Michelle Panos, who is constituent services representative, and she does a terrific job on issues dealing with the IRS, Social Security, Veterans Affairs, Medicare, and with Oliver Chu, she manages our congressional art competition. I think I've mentioned this to some of you before. There is a competition to which all offices of members of Congress may participate, are invited to participate, and it is high school students. As a matter of fact, here in Elk Grove, we've had some of our top winners. And one person is chosen from the competition that is open to all high school students in our district. And that individual's piece of art hangs in the tunnel that connects the House of Representatives to the House office buildings, seen by hundreds of thousands of people on a yearly basis. They're invited back to Washington, D.C. for the ceremony to meet the other young artists around the country. We also get sponsorships. Southwest Airlines gives them tickets to have the student and is it 2 members of the family? 2 members of the family back there. And then this last year, the Sacramento County Arts Council came up with a stipend so that their housing is paid for it as well. And it's really wonderful to see that high school students and their artwork displayed along the wall there as you go towards the Capitol. You would be overwhelmed by the creativity of young people around this country. Very important thing Michelle also does is she manages our military academy appointment. As you may know, members of Congress are the ones that appoint young men and women to our academies. Members of the House, members of the Senate, but also some that are set aside for the President. There's some superintendent. By and large, to ensure that we have the distribution from around the country, that our academies represent the entire nation, the manner in which it is provided for is that members of Congress make those nominations. And the appointments are finally made by those who qualify and accept. This last year, we were happy to say that we got in seven young people from our district were accepted appointments to West Point. Now, we're entitled to 1, and we got 7. Now, that shows you the tremendous accomplishments of our young people, some of the great work done in the high schools all across this district. I think it was 2 years ago we had 6 at the Naval Academy, and then we had 6 at the Air Force Academy before that. Actually, we can brag on this because other members want to know how we do it. And we got a great staff that goes through it. We also have volunteers who serve on our panel that interview all of these students, and they are marked, they're given marks for their leadership qualities, those sorts of things they've done, extracurricular activities in addition to the academic achievement that they have made. Great program. We need to know by the junior year whether they're interested. So if you have a child or a grandchild or a friend of your family that might be interested, please contact our office in plenty of time. Brian Caveney, our communications director, taking pictures of you. He's a ham. All right. We have Jillian Morris here. Jill is an extra asset to our office in that the Department of Defense has a fellowship program for the outstanding men and women in uniform and civilian employees of the military who for 1 year cycle into the legislative branch and work with us, get an exposure to the Congress of the United States, give us the benefit of their experience. We've been privileged to have several members of the Air Force, officers of the Air Force, provide that for us for a year. Jill is the first civilian employee of the Air Force that we've had, and she is serving us here for a year. First time in California. She got off the plane the other day and she said, "Oh my God, how cool it is here in California, and no humidity." Jillian Morris doing a great job for us. And we have interns, let's see, we have Victor Talomeo, and I guess the other interns are here. But Victor is here. He does a great job in assisting in the district office as needed, and does it for no pay. And so you can applaud him for Okay, we're going to try and get as many questions here as possible. We have strict rules that we have to get out by certain times, so we'll continue this to 8:30, then we have to get out so that they can restore the room to another condition, I guess, and let the people go home as they finish their time here. We are very, very privileged that they allow us to use this room at no cost to our office. Where do I start? I happen to think the biggest issue that I have found being home, well, let me back up. I happened to turn on television a couple of days ago, and Greta Von Strusten was on TV saying members of Congress should get off of their 5-day or 5-week vacation. Well, this is not a vacation. I have 17 speeches, 3 town halls, meetings with people in my district office, and having the opportunity to go around to a number of different businesses in this district and find out from those who are job creators as to how they're creating jobs, what they think we should do to allow the creation of more jobs. I have been one of those who does not believe that all wisdom is found inside the Beltway. And we get a lot of expertise, we get a lot of testimony from experts, we get a lot of information from those in the executive branch, all sincere people giving us their viewpoint. I think it's good for us to get home, talk to people at home about what's going on, what's working, what's not working, what they think about the level of taxation, regulation, impact on the economy. And so I don't believe that it would be better for us to be back in Washington, D.C. right now. I think it is good for us. Most members of Congress, I'd say 90%, are out in their district meeting with constituents and trying to find out what the message that should be brought from their district to Washington, D.C. is, as opposed to us bringing a message to you from Washington, D.C. I think I owe you an explanation and a description of what's happening in Washington, D.C., but I don't think I should be here to lecture you about what's happening in Washington, D.C. Rather, I should be finding out as I get around the district what you think. I mean, today I've been in Fair Oaks. Yesterday I was up in Spring Valley, which is in my district, up in Calaveras County. We were over in Amador County. We were in San Andreas. We were in Jackson yesterday. Those are parts of the district. We've been in various different parts of this district. This Saturday we're going to have a town hall up in Jackson. And then next week we're having a town hall in Carmichael. So we are trying to get around. Now, let me just give you an idea of what I've been hearing around the district. From those job creators that I've been able to talk to, those who actually have created jobs in this district. I was up to one plant here in the district, a manufacturing plant, several hundred employees. They compete worldwide. They make the finest machinery for the kinds of things that they produce in the world. They are recognized around the world. Several hundred employees in this district. They told me, look, we need certainty. We need to know what the government's going to do to us or for us. We need an enlightened tax policy. Increasing taxes on us is not going to help us create more jobs. We need a more enlightened regulatory policy, because sometimes the regulations seem to make no sense whatsoever.